Good day, Gappers. Today we're going to talk about Visa, the credit card company, credit payment processing company. Let's jump in here. Visa is pretty exciting here. We trade gaps on this channel. Just to remind people what gaps are, we'll zoom in here. Anytime a stock has a gap between candles, gapping up or down, they usually fill, meaning the candles and price of the stock go up and come back down and fill the gaps. This particular stock, Visa, is an interesting one. Why? Because of the pandemic. They created a couple of gap ups during the V recovery of the pandemic in March 2020. As you can see here, we have a gap in between these 2 days, and it created a trend line all the way to the right at 142. Today's price of 226. Will it ever go down to 142? That's something you got to ask yourself. Will it ever go down to 158? Don't know. But as you can see, during that whole bottoming out and recovering, these gaps up here filled. When it dropped, when it gapped up, it filled here. And since then, zoom in some more, you can see these little gaps here. Here, didn't draw a line, but you can see that all filled. Got tired of drawing lines. This gap here was a gap up. It eventually filled. This gap down over here, it came back up and filled. Along the way, it gapped down again, and it gapped up to fill, came back down, gapped down to fill, gapped up, all the way up to fill. And then we have where we are today. Some new gaps were formed. And it looks like 230 was not filled. This one gapped down here, it created, it filled. This gapped up, that did not fill. This gapped up, that did not fill. So that's pretty interesting. Such a good strong reversal here, and it did not fill that gap. Of course, we're sitting right here. Doesn't mean we won't fill it. It's just interesting that it stopped and it took a couple of days to do it. And stock market news, tweets by people, it can move a stock. So the interesting thing about this one, you're starting to see the MCAD roll over, RSI's rolled over, stochastic stayed hot, getting hot again. Will it stay up there? Don't know. Will it jump to fill it and then trim back down to fill this one down here and eventually this one and this one? Don't know. You got to ask yourself, what's the growth driver? What's the driver to keep it from going up and down? This one, I think, given the current thoughts of a bear market and recession coming, inflation and spending, one could argue for the next 2 months it can be weak. I could argue that a lot of people are paying for vacations that are going to be in the summer and the fall, so there may not be a turn down. So will this here go sideways for a while our stochastic does something like this previous, and you just see a sideways trending up in 240s and 250s? I wish there was a gap here in the 250s, but there's not. So there's nothing pulling it up. But like I said, vacations and all that, it's hard to say. So with the war in Ukraine, I got to think. I think it's going to roll over and come back down and fill this one. Will it go down 190? Depends on like the headlines going into the fall. Would it ever get back down to 140? It's going to take a deep recession to do that, and something big to do that, in my opinion. I don't know. Every gap has filled except for these two. Makes you wonder. Well, if this is your first time on the channel, you just got gaptized. Now hit that subscribe button and follow us on Twitter for gap picks like this chart and other charts that we do. See ya.